Ayan, hindi pa man nag-start ang live. Marami nang nakaabang. May nakita po ako sa mga comments. Nag-aabang na dito sa ating topic. Very exciting again. Isa na namang guest na kilalang-kilala din sa low-carb universe, especially sa communities ng Life Without Rice, ng low-carb fasting feasting. He is one of the moderators. I believe admin siya or moderator ng groups. Of course, with his experience, naming tinutulungan din, then he can provide us a lot of value. And very exciting kasi yung topic natin ngayon is covering a specific subset din ng ating mga low-carb practitioners. Pasensya na po ha kung medyo maingay. Nandito kasi ako ngayon sa IKEA. So, buhay nanay, hinatid yung anak. He is having a practice, so I had to find a place kung saan pwede akong mag-live. I hope I'm coming across okay po. Kumusta po ang ating reception? Titingnan ko lang. Sana hindi po, kasi I'm using Wi-Fi. So, hopefully okay naman po sana. In any case, without further ado, ito po ang ating pag-uusapan. Ito ang ating special guest. So, very exciting topic. Fasted running. Primal. So, tumatakbo kahit nag-aayuno. Primal endurance and experience as an endurance runner. None other than si Sir Ollie. Sir Ollie Dan Valera. Sir Ollie, welcome.
Hello po, Doc. Thank you for inviting me to be your guest tonight.
Yes, thank you po sir sa pagpapaunlak. At least parehas kami ng time frame. Ayan, right
Yes.
sir? California, so exactly the same time frame kami. So West Coast, it's currently 7:34 sa amin. And yan, yung mga nag-aabang po na nandito sa US, Canada, ayan, matataunan ninyo. Pwede kayo magtanong later sa mga bagong-bagong followers. You know, the format ng ating show, babahagi ko lang sa inyo. Initially, yung ating mga guests, so ito pong mga esteemed guests natin, mga iba't ibang influencers, advocates ng lifestyle natin, what they do is they really share yung specific to their practice, to their subset ng paglo-low carb fasting. And based on that sharing, we also entertain yung mga questions natin later. So i-ready lang po natin, napaka-exciting na talakayan ito, lalo na yung mga athletes natin dyan, mga runners natin, mga lalaki, lalo na kasi karamihan, Sir Ollie, yung mga ladies, they're always saying sa mga chat or comments na nahihirapan akong kumbinsin si mister kasi yun nga, lalaki, kailangan daw ng energy, kailangan daw, mabigat daw yung trabaho, paano daw yun. So tonight, maririnig ninyo ang kwento ng paano nakakatakbo kahit na nag-aayuno, paano nangyayari yon, right? So Sir Ollie, can you please give them a background muna, how this started for you, yung journey po ninyo, and just to give us a view kung bakit kayo nagka-interest dito at what led you to here now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching Doc Iris' show tonight. And also, first of all, I want to thank the people behind these meetings. No, si Rona, who's never tired of messaging me. It's like, oh, okay, giving me the links to this show and everything. Thank you, Rona. Just a little bit of background, no. I was born and raised actually in the Philippines, the little town of San Manuel in Pangasinan. I was born in a farm, actually born and raised in a farm, hence the name of my page, Son of a Farmer or Son of a Farmer. And I came to the US about almost 3 decades ago. And a few years after that, I joined the military and spent 21 years serving in the US military. And my last gig was a linguist in the military. Finally hung my camis last year and decided to retire. So after finishing 21 years of service. And it's been a great ride, I would say. And then, I've always been kind of healthy or fit because I was in the military. No, we always have to pass our physical fitness test every 6 months. So with that, I always have to stay on top of my fitness game. So I'm not a stranger to workouts, not a stranger to running. I've been running for more than 20 years, although short runs in order to be able to be fit enough or fast enough to pass my fitness test. But then in 2015, it was a challenge between me and my wife, and I challenged her to finish a half marathon. And with that challenge, I also had to train her. So that's when we started endurance running. So that's has been what, seven years ago. So we've been running marathons and half marathons since 2015, and I didn't come across this lifestyle, the intermittent fasting and low carb nutrition lifestyles, until around April of 2019. Um, Actually, we discovered this lifestyle by accident. We just came back from, we love to travel as a family. We like to go on road trips. So we just came back from a road trip in Utah after visiting the 5 national parks of Utah. And after you come back from a trip, you review the pictures that you took during the trip, and one of those photos pop up, and just for some reason it just triggered something in me. I mean, I knew I was overweight, because during the endurance training time, when I take when I'm on training, like 8 months out of a year, I tend to lose a lot of weight and kind of slim down. I've always had the pouch in my stomach, but you know it. I've always thought I've been healthy. I was healthy, and when off training, you tend to gain a lot of weight. Um, but coming back from that trip, I saw a picture of myself, and I said, "Oh, I didn't know I looked like that." But I think that's the one that triggered me to search for something. To My goal was to lose weight. Maybe I wanted to lose about. I was When I saw that picture and I weighed myself, I was at 190 pounds, and I told myself I need to lose at least 40 pounds in order to be healthy again. That was my definition of healthy: to lose weight, which in some sense I guess is true. If you lose weight, you are healthier. So I was watching TV with my wife, and there was this guy who was promoting his book. It was actually a cooking book, but for some reason he mentioned intermittent fasting, and it just flew off on top of my that intermittent fasting conversation just flew off on top of my head, and I wanted to buy his book because I wanted to eat healthier. So I went on Amazon and searched his book, and for some reason, you know how you go on Amazon, for those who shop in Amazon, there are a lot of suggestions. When you search for something, there are a lot of other suggestions that is connected to that search. And for some reason, there's a book that was suggested, and it was a book by a retired school teacher. Her name is Jean Stephens, and she wrote the book "Delay, Don't Deny." It's about intermittent fasting, and I read the preview of that book, and it was so fascinating. And instead of buying the cookbook that I was supposed to buy, I bought that book instead and read it in 2 days. And then I found out that she has a Facebook group, and I became a member of the group and started fasting. I didn't know anything about low carb nutrition, so I started fasting, just fasting, still regular diet, the standard American diet with fasting. Actually, jumped into 20 hours of fasting right after a week, right away. Um, it was a struggle in the beginning, but then again, you like everything else, it becomes a habit. You get used to it, and in 6 months, I believe I was at goal weight, still at standard American diet. I've always been eating kind of healthy. I'm always heavy on meat and vegetable. I wasn't fond of eating a lot of carbohydrates. Only when I'm training, that's when I eat a lot of carbohydrates. So I was goal weight at 6 months, and in that book that I bought, she suggested a lot of other books like Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Fong and all the other giants in this community. So I started reading other books after I read her book, and that's how this low carb nutrition started. I started reading books, listening to podcasts, started researching, and it's just been a roller coaster of learning since then. And that's how that started. That part of this lifestyle started, and also I started. I saw people doing fasted running, and I said, "Well, that sounds interesting." Um, I'd never done fasted running, so I didn't. I actually prepared myself for that. So after I started fasting, I didn't run for 3 months. I wanted to prepare myself to be ready, and then after 3 months, started building up my mileage. So I started running short distances while fasted until I'm able to run a full marathon while I'm fasted. And then it didn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of practice. Like everything else in life, the more you do it, the better you become at it. And just a sec. That it didn't stop there. Once you come into this lifestyle, sabi nga nila, once you get curious and you see all the benefits of this lifestyle, you don't stop there. You want to learn more, and you ask yourself, what else is there? What else is there for me? What else can I do to optimize my health? So I started doing low carb nutrition in combination of intermittent fasting, and life was so much easier with low carb nutrition and intermittent fasting. So since then, I started practicing low carb nutrition as well. And just last year, when I started Primal Endurance, there's a community of runners who how you say this, who practice intermittent fasting, low carb nutrition, and all these other things that adds to your longevity as a runner. So I started that last. It's been a year since I started practicing Primal Endurance, and this practice was popularized by Brad Kearns and Mark Sisson, two of the very two world class triathletes during their time, during their prime. They wrote this book called Primal Endurance, and I started reading it, and I started practicing it, and that's how that started as well. What else? What else can I say here?
So, yun yung evolution, Sir Ollie, very interesting. And actually, yung journey po ninyo, I see here in the comments. Welcome nga po pala sa mga comments. I know that this is actually working time sa Philippines. And yun, so yung mga viewers natin sa Philippines, probably later pa ninyo ito mapapanood, sa lunch break siguro. But really, what you imparted to us is a reflection of maraming taong journey. Yung mga taong sumusubok ng lifestyle natin. So they try, una muna, like your case, right? Meron dito nagsabi na ganun din daw yung naging trajectory niya. She started with the intermittent fasting, and then eventually nga, because you feel better and you find that you want to do more, right? Kasi you're starting to feel better, and kumbaga nandoon yung desire mo to even get even better, kumbaga, then doon na nag-evolve. So I think a lot of people can relate with your journey as well, na patuloy kang finding ways, especially in your the subset ng population of our low carbers who are also into sports, also athletes, for example, also in competition, mga triathlon, alam natin yan, right? Dr. Brian is one of those, right? Kuya Gibo is also a cyclist, and I also see it in our communities, yung mga sportsmen and athletes natin. And it is, I think, part of that natural progression that once you start to optimize your wellness, you just keep getting better at it. And you try to find even more ways to hack your biology, right? longevity, for endurance, lalo pa po dito sa mga ganito, people who go for marathons. Ako, I'm not a runner, but I know that many people are really into this primal endurance, Sir Ollie. And I think it's very good that you're bringing awareness to this kasi napakarami ng mga bago sa lifestyle natin, especially the men, are very afraid. Of course, ano yan kumbaga, that's what, physiologically defines you as a man, right? You're strong, you have muscles, and then
Mhm.
natatakot sila na, okay, if I give up my rice, if I give up all my usual sources of things that they think give them energy and make them stronger, then they're afraid of, yun nga, losing that parang distinction. And the reality is, if you don't really delve into the lifestyle, if you don't really do this lifestyle properly, that can happen. You can lose a lot of muscle mass, as we know. And this is why we encourage everyone to join the communities. Kasi the communities will be your go-to resource to really help you do this properly. As I always say, kaya we receive a lot of bad press for our lifestyle is because of the people who don't really take the time to educate themselves yung deeper knowledge ng lifestyle. Like for example, we need to meet our protein requirements, for example, right? Like knowing those things makes a whole lot of difference. And I'm very happy to showcase itong mga advocates natin who are specifically talking about this. Like si Coach Dan, he's talking a lot about muscle building, nutrition. We have our other coaches as well. And sa case nyo nga, Sir Ollie, all about the primal endurance. So, and running in the fasted state. So definitely doable. Sir Ollie, can you give them kind of a layman's overview how this works, right? Because if you think about it, okay, so you're fasting, tapos low carb ka pa, paano yun? How does a body like that withstand long periods sa walang pagkain, and at the same time you're getting the stress of exercise too, right? Even though exercise is good stress pa rin siya sa body. How can it do that? In a simple way para maintindihan nung especially our mga kalalakihan who are very hesitant to go into this lifestyle because of impact sa work maybe, or even sa mga athletes natin.
Right, Doc. I'm sorry for all the sweating. I just came out of the sauna and I didn't have enough time to cool down, I think. So,
Okay lang,
uh,
sir.
so basically, you eat the night before and you go to sleep. Hopefully, you ate, before 6 p.m. to be able to have a better sleep after meal. And then whatever you ate, you basically use some of that, right? Gamitin mo yung ibang, kasi kung kumakain ka, yung ibang carbohydrates na kinakain, yung carbohydrates na kinakain mo, it becomes a glucose that it's used by the body for energy. Yung iba na hindi nagagamit, it's deposited as glycogen. When you wake up in the morning, it does. I'm not sure what time you guys wake up and go for a run or do your workout. I usually start mine at 8 a.m. I finish my meal at night around 6, 7, or 8. So basically, in the morning, probably still have some glycogen stores that I need to burn. But then again, my body has been so used at burning fat for a long time. I've been doing this for almost 4 years. So when I start my training, I actually operate like I mentioned primal endurance. The one of the tenets of primal endurance is most of your workout is at zone 2 to burn fat. So in order not to produce a lot of lactic acid, you operate at zone 2 training, and you can last longer because and that's the other thing. There's a lot of fat that we can use as energy in the body. It's almost endless compared to the leftover glycogen that you have left in your body when you wake up and go for a run, right? So basically, when I operate at zone 2, I'm burning more fat than glycogen stores. And I'm basically reserving whatever is left, whatever glycogen stores I have left for when I need to bring my heart rate up, like I'm climbing up hills, or I need to run a little faster to meet a time, or my heart rate is just going up because it's too hot outside. There are a lot of variables that can raise your heart rate. And basically what I'm doing is I'm reserving my glycogen stores for those moments. I mean, it's still getting burned here and there, even though I'm operating at zone 2, but I'm mainly burning fat. And because my body is so used to burning fat, I don't feel tired. I don't get hungry. But one thing that I stay on top of is electrolytes. I drink my electrolytes in the morning. I use electrolyte tablets or electrolyte drinks. We have this mixture. It's used by, it's produced by one of the big low carb advocates here in the US, Rob Wolf. His drink LMNT, his electrolytes LMNT. Shameless plug for those people. But I use those drinks, and it works. In order to do fasted running, I think you have to stay on top of your electrolytes, because if you neglect that, it won't work. I don't think it will work at all. If you're only drinking water, there's no electrolytes there. Fasted running is almost impossible, because you will not last as long. You can probably do 5 miles, and you are all dehydrated, pretty much. But like I was saying, kasi, and that's the reason why in the beginning I stopped running for 3 months when I started fasting, in order for my body to get used to burning fat and using the byproducts of fat burning as an energy, like the ketones that we so used to talking about in the low carb community. So that's one thing that you have to consider. If you're new in this community, you get your body first used to using ketones for energy. I mean, your body can burn fat, yes, but sometimes it's not enough if your body is not used to using the byproducts, the ketones, for energy as well. So that's one thing. Where was I? So that's the one of the tenets of the primal endurance, the zone 2 training, or they call it 180 minus age, just to generalize it for everybody. So I'm 45 years old. If I get my 180 beats per minute minus my age, which is 45, I'm supposed to be operating at 135 beats per minute or below. But I take that even further and bring it down to 115 to 125 for me, just to give me 10 beats per minute of allowance in order not to not to get to the maximum heart rate. And that it takes a lot of patience, but it's been working so far. And other things to consider as well is the rest and because running stresses your body. It's good stress because it has a lot of benefits, a lot of cardiovascular benefits, physical fitness benefits. But you also have to balance it with stress. With rest. And that's one thing that I think I neglected a lot when I was running long distance before last year, even when I was already practicing intermittent fasting and low carb nutrition. I was always running to beat my fastest time. I implemented rest as well, but not as much as I was supposed to. So since last year, I started doing this, and it was such a big difference that I don't feel tired anymore. When I started fasting and low carb nutrition in 2019 until last year that I was running, the recovery was longer. Even though I was already a fat burner, the recovery was still longer. And I always get tired after a run, but with this primal endurance lifestyle, with this primal endurance type of training, I rarely get tired. I finish, a half marathon, and I still have so much energy, and I don't get hungry. It will take probably another 4 or 5 hours before I start eating, because I'm just not hungry. There's still a lot of energy. And the recovery is so fast. In April, I did a self 50K, fasted 50K on my own, and the next day I was fully recovered. That didn't happen to me at all
Wow.
before when I was
That's
running marathon.
amazing, Sir Ollie. Wow, 50K. Oh my.
Yeah, but the strategy for me for that 50K was keeping my heart rate below 135, and I was able to maintain that. And I think that was the biggest factor of completing the 50K without injury, and the recovery took less than 24 hours. And that didn't happen to me at all before, when I used to run marathons, before primal endurance, or even before intermittent fasting and low carb nutrition. I would need 3 to 4 days to recover from a marathon. These days, I can probably run every day, but I don't do it because it's like I said, you need to do a stress and a rest balance.
Sir Ollie, what's
And
your protocol for that rest? What are you following? Is there like a specific protocol or is it according to, just to give an idea doon sa ating mga marathoners dyan? I know many of you are watching, yung mga runners natin who are interested in taking up primal endurance, and ito nga, to balance it with the rest. What's your usual protocol for that?
actually, Doc, that's funny because I use more intuition. That I used to be regimented with my endurance practice. I used to be okay. Monday, it has to be a long run. After Saturday, Sundays off. Monday long run. Then you do short runs. Then you do your tempo runs. Then you do your sprints, your hill repeats, and all that. Since last year, I threw regimentation or regimented workout out of the window, and it's different every morning. So I wake up, I look at how much time I have to train. If that's 30 minutes, then it's 30 minutes. So I don't go for distance anymore. I go for time. So if I have 2 hours to train, then I have 2 hours to train. But I also look at my health. How am I feeling today? Those are the things that I look at in the morning. And what's my level of motivation, pretty much. And I based it from those things. There are also times when I feel really great at the start of a run, and I plan to finish a 2-hour run. At 30 minutes, if all of a sudden I'm feeling like this doesn't feel right, I turn around. I stop, I turn around, and I walk. It's all about intuition. And I don't do regimented training anymore.
I actually like your non-regimented style. Kasi pretty much, Sir Ollie, ganyan din ako. Doon sa mga followers po natin, alam po ninyo that I have a very active lifestyle. And truly po, when you start, syempre excited ka, like Sir Ollie before also, right? So may regimen ka, meron kang sinusundan. Kasi you really just wanna get into it. Pero you will find out later, yun nga po, habang tayo ay getting deeper into the lifestyle and we understand more the physiology, also as we get older, I think dito na nagka-catch up yung wisdom eh. You realize that your body actually has wisdom. And
Yeah.
you just have to listen to it, and you don't really need to force things para lang sabihin na, oh, ito, nabit ko yung ganyan, na ganito, right? We are very competitive, especially people who are in sports, right? You are very goal-driven, of course, competitive tayo, meron tayo mga binibit na mga personal best or whatever that is. And really, sometimes, if you just really listen to your body, it can actually give you more kasi you optimize it in the best way na para sa kanya, right? It's not forced. Remember that our physiology is very different from other people, and your body knows best. Ikaw ang makakaramdam. So I really like that to hear. I like hearing that from you, Sir Ollie, kasi I'm thinking, military background, baka very regimented yung iyong practice, right? But I'm so happy to hear that you also are now just really listening. Ano ba yung ano ng katawan ko ngayon? What is it telling me? Right? Even if you started the activity already, pero you feel like it's not right. And that has happened to me as well many times. Many times I would do, I love doing yung mga intense yoga. And sometimes hindi eh. It doesn't, it's not the day for it. So then you just stop and listen to your body. So napakahalaga po niyan, low carbers also. This will be applicable to your journey as well. Many of you are very inspired pag nakikita niyo sa mga groups na, oh, si ganyan, OMAD na, tapos na-reverse na yung ganyan-ganon. And they are in a hurry. Everyone's in a hurry, di ba, Sir Ollie, na gusto na agad,
Yeah.
OMAD na rin, kailan ako mag-OMAD, right? But again, your physiology will guide you. Low carb muna, step by step. We heard from Dr. Grace kanina, yung kanyang advice sa newbie. May newbie kanina na nag-comment, paano po ba ako mag-fasting? And Dr. Grace was saying, and I also say this a lot, na start muna tayo sa low carb. Because when you do that, the body will naturally show you yung progression hanggat ready ka na mag-fast. Ni hindi mo siya ipaplan. Your body will just tell you, I'm not hungry. So then you don't eat. Right? So yun po I think ang mahalaga dito sa ating journey, kanya-kanyang journey. We respect yung wisdom ng ating body. And if in doubt, you can always ask for support sa mga community members. Nandyan yung mga admins like Sir Ollie to help yung ating mga bagong community members. What to expect, yung parang spectrum ng what to expect na baka ganito lang, baka ganyan lang. You need gabay. Otherwise, pag pinupush po natin, dyan nangyayari yung mga injuries, dyan nangyayari yung mga horror stories na nakikita natin sinasabi, oh, yung mga low carbers, they end up in the ER. Right? Mga ganun, Sir Ollie, nabibigyan ng bad press. And specifically because we don't really do our due diligence to study it, to really do it safely, put in the time, invest the time. Dahil, kasi when you invest the time to learn, so napakarami naman pong video sa YouTube, iba't ibang advocates, everyone learns differently. Marami tayong iba't ibang representative advocates. If you want fun learning, you watch Tito J, Eileen, right? If you want a little bit more scientific, watch the doctors. If you want a little bit more, whatever way you can learn, meron na tayong resource. And we are showcasing our different advocates so that you will see na, I identify more with this. Malay nyo, you identify more with Sir Ollie pala. Meron ditong nag-comment, din siya, she's also, si Miss Madonna, sabi niya, Sir Ollie, yes, I'm a runner and an ultra-marathoner and now into dragon boat, paddling at 53 years old, been into LCIF for 2 months now, never felt better. More energy and stamina even without food. I'm really happy to discover this kind of lifestyle, loving it each day. Thanks, Dr. Iris, Godspeed. And ayan na po, follow nyo rin si Sir Ollie. So again, ito lang, flash ko lang yung kanyang Facebook page for all of you who are interested in endurance running, primal endurance, sorry, mali yung sinabi kong endurance running. Yung running, marathons, primal endurance, fasted state running, then you can also follow him. So yung ating mga po dyan, lalo na yung mga lalaki, ano ba yan? Imagine po ninyo, hindi lang nagbubuhat ng bigat, talagang tumatakbo, 50K pa, right? Imagine if you are relying nga doon sa ating temporary stores. Kasi nga po, pag kumain tayo ng carbs, napupunta yan doon sa temporary stores natin, like yung ating atay. And yan, meron lang yung kapasidad. Usually up to 24 hours lang yan, ma-empty mo na yan eh. Lalo pa tumakbo ka. So kung dyan tayo nakasalalay, di nandoon yung pangangailangan to keep eating and also many give up. Actually, Sir Ollie, in the literature, in the forums, and even si Dr. Bry, he mentioned na many of the people who transition and who are doing it very fast, hindi katulad nung ginawa mo na talagang parang 2-3 months yon. Many of our athletes, they tend to do it in kind of mabilisang period and they notice yung talagang drop in performance in the first 2 weeks daw. So I think itong binahagi mo ngayon is very important for them para ma-expect na nila na if you really want to avoid that, then get deep into the lifestyle muna, get your body used to burning fat muna para hindi siya reliant doon sa temporary storage, and in that way, makakalast ka longer. Hindi ka masyado makaka-experience ng side effects. So I think mahalaga yon yung naging experience mo to
Kasi
lengthen.
yung katawan natin, it's been burning sugar since we were born. And to introduce a new source of fuel, which is ketones or fat fuel, it doesn't know what to do with it. And then you add your previous activities, your running or your lifting weights with it. It doesn't know how to burn it. So if you give your body time to know that, hey, there's this almost endless amount of fuel that I can use, maybe I can also use this while exercising. So you get your body used to burning that fuel first. And once you do that, once you think that you are there, you can usually tell when you don't get hungry anymore. And then you can incorporate your running or your weightlifting or whatever you do, your other exercises, and your body will know because it looks for energy. When you're burning a lot of energy at a fast rate, it looks for energy, and since it knows how to burn fat, it will take that energy and use it. I think yung sinabi ni Doc Brian, gano'n ang nangyayari pag marami din akong nakitang ganyan. Ganun ang nangyari sa kanila because they rushed too fast into, they couldn't wait for their body to get used to burning fat before they resume their activities. That's one of the advice that I got from the group members of the Delay Don't Deny, the fasting group that I belong here in the US. Said, well, wait at least 3 months. If you're an ultra marathoner, wait at least 3 months before you resume. By then, you should be able to burn fat for energy, and you shouldn't have any problem. And I followed it, and I didn't have any problem when I started running again. Of course, when you take a day off take 3 months off from running, you start slow, start building your mileage again. You don't go out and run 20 miles right away, right? You start with 2 miles, 3 miles, start building your mileage. It's also a good way to introduce your body or your fuel to a new type of activity. So in the end, this one goes together. These two things go together: exercise and fat burning.
Yun. Thank you for that, Sir Ollie. Again, I cannot overemphasize it. Dapat po dahan-dahan. As with anything na big transformation journey, we need to invest a few things. Unang-unang investment is, of course, yung learning. So you really need to learn about it. Kasi it's a transformation eh. You are getting from, yung dati mong estado, so really like comfort zone, tas biglang ibang-iba, right? So you need to invest as much learning as you can. And then ikalawang investment is, of course, yung time. Time nga po. Kasi all the worthwhile things in life do take time. And if you want to do something safely, hindi po ba? Yung when you build good relationships, ganun lang ba yun? No, it takes time. Right? When you are working towards a goal, maybe education, maybe a business or whatever it is na endeavor ninyo, it takes time. Otherwise, kung biglaan lang yan, especially ngayon sa natin, sa ating landscape na meron tayong what do you call that? Instant gratification na kultura. Lahat na lang, right? Like Sir Oli sa atin nga, same day delivery ng Amazon, right? So everyone's used to instant gratification, but the reality is for the worthwhile things like healing your body, right? Getting your body used to using a different fuel, that takes time. So thank you for that. I really think na makakatulong yan doon sa mga nag-aagam-agam, like people who are hesitating, yung know that you don't have to rush into it, that you can slowly allow your body na mag-unfold yung kanyang mechanisms. You just have to be consistent and give it time. Hindi kailangan madaliin.
Just be
Sir,
patient.
yes. Sir Ollie, ito po, gusto ko lang batiin si Doc Fee. Doc Fee is here. Thank you
Oh,
for this,
hi,
Doc
Doc.
I and Kuya Ollie. Doc Fee, welcome. Ayan, hopefully pag si Doc Fee ay medyo mas, makarecover na, she will also be here to guest. Yes, and isa sa mga coaches natin, Sir Ollie, si Coach Mavi, she's actually a low-carb coach. And it looks like na nag-start na rin siya ng kanyang running or jogging exercise while on fasting. Masarap daw sa pakiramdam. Ask ko lang po, ano po ang supplement do you take before doing it? Or is it okay, in addition dun sa nabanggit ninyo kanina about electrolytes, right? You really emphasized yung importance ng electrolytes. So in addition to that, Sir Ollie, do you recommend, meron ka bang i-recommend sa kanila na supplementation for this kind of carnal endurance lifestyle?
Actually, wala. I don't take supplements. I take I take most of my nutrients, like the things that I need from real food. I take vitamin C and magnesium, and what else do I take? Quercetin, and I also take D3 and K2 for other things, not necessarily for my endurance training, but endurance training wise, I don't really take supplements. I I drink my electrolytes in the morning, depending on what distance I'm taking that day. I would bring electrolytes and fluids with me. But if it's a short run, I would drink my electrolytes in the morning. I do that short run and come back, and I'm done. There's really not. I've done a lot of supplementation, and back in the late 90s and early 2000, I was a gym rat. I was actually into weightlifting. And I
Wow.
did a lot of supplementation back then, protein, creatine, short of, illegal. I cannot even name them all. I cannot even remember them all. That took a lot of supplements. So as much as possible, I want to stay away from that. I did so much that, the best supplement is food. Eat the right stuff. You don't need anything else, really.
Ayan. So, malaking tulong po yun doon sa mga akala makakakuha pa ng extra. Other than, of course, provided po na nutrient dense yung kinakain natin. Make sure that you are meeting your protein requirements. Again, paulit-ulit namin sinasabi, ulit-ulit talaga ito para nga po hindi magkaroon ng masyadong muscle wasting at hindi manghina. Please do meet your protein requirements. Panoorin yung mga videos natin sa YouTube. Meet your fat requirements as well. Fat eat up to satiety. Hindi naman yan kailangan kinakalculate unless na kayo ay gusto mag-gain weight. Pero kung ang layunin ay mag-lose weight, you don't need to calculate the fat up to satiety. Si Miss Samak Lulu, she's quite new to the lifestyle. Sabi niya, may tanong lang ako, mas better po ba kumain ng rice than sa bread? So ito, common nakikita ito. Ayan, napatawa si Sir Ollie. It's very common in our communities. And it's a very valid question, especially sa mga newbies natin. The gist po is, of course, pag sinabi nating low carb, tinatanggal po natin yung mga matataas na insulin stimulating na mga pagkain. So, nagkataon po na ang ating rice at ang ating bread, so ang bread gawa din yan sa ating mga multigrain, mataas din po yung kanyang epekto sa insulin. So, parehas po sila ng rice. Yung nakakita na nito, siguro po i-flash ko lang ulit, pakita ko lang ulit sa inyo, halos walang pagkakaiba po yung white rice. So, sorry Sir Olin, takpan ka. This is just an adaptation. Ginawa ko lang visual yung kay Dr. Onwin from the UK, yung kanyang table. So, if you can see here, white rice around 10 na teaspoons full ng asukal and yung bread 8. So, it's almost the same. Tinitignan ko yung mga nutrition label ng mga breads natin dito, US, Canada. A slice normally of the usual variety bread na mabibili mo has around 17 to 22 grams. Imagine nyo yun. That slice, yun yung bread na yung pag ginanon nyo, talagang parang nafa-flat pa siya. So you end up eating not only one, right? One slice, you end up eating many slices of it to even feel full. So imagine ninyo yung sugar load po nun, right? Compared to, say, something that you make at home. Mga low-carb breads natin range anywhere from, 1 to 6 grams of net carb, depende sa pagkakagawa nyo. So, certainly makes a very big difference. But in terms of rice lamang at bread, na usual ang mga ingredients, hindi nagkakalayo, mas maganda pong iwasan. So, salamat sa question na yon. Makakatulong yan sa mga newbies. Si Miss Lucky Mel Fernandez, nag-intermittent fasting ako habang nag-exercise kagabi, nahilo ako, tumaas BP ko. So ito po, common concern. So ang kanyang tanong, normal na magtaas ang BP pag nag-IF tayo. So there are a few instances po, Ms. Lucky Mel, when this can happen. So unang-una, so remember sa intermittent fasting natin, sa proseso ng ketosis natin, kung kunyari medyo napatagal fasting nyo, tapos nag-enter talaga kayo ng ketosis, nagre-release tayo ng tinatawag nating adrenaline. Ito yung hormone natin na kung tayo ay napapahamak when you're faced with danger, tumataas po ito para matulungan kayong mag-escape doon sa danger. So ang trabaho niyan, tataasin talaga yung inyong heart rate. So that's one of the mechanisms. Ikalawang mahalagang mechanism, pag hindi natin ginawa yung electrolyte replacement, katulad ng sinabi kanina ni Sir Ollie, yung nag-IF ka na, tapos nag-low carb ka pa, tapos medyo natindihan mo yung exercise mo, hindi ka nagpalit ng iyong salt, yun ay nakakakos po. Pag bumagsak ang ating potassium, magnesium, nakakapagpataas siya ng ating blood pressure. Kasi remember, it's still a stress in the body, right? So that's the third mechanism pa pala, yung stress na dinudulot nun. So I don't know if you want to add to that, Sir Ollie, yung mga nakikita mong cases na ganito na nag-intermittent fasting daw, nag-exercise, biglang nag-shoot up yung BP nila.
Nako, lalo na pag baguhan po kayo sa sa intermittent fasting. Gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, bago kayo mag-exercise, maging veterano muna kayo sa sa intermittent fasting tsaka low carb nutrition. Um, I like, just to be on the safe side, I suggest practice fasting and low carb nutrition for 3 months before resuming your physical activity. Yung mga exercise talaga. Okay lang naman yung mga, functional activity like gardening and other stuff, walking around the block, yung mga ganun. Okay lang yung mga yun. Pero yung pag tinataas mo na yung stress level ng katawan kasi, like running, you're bringing up your heart rate higher with other exercises like HIIT or weightlifting and other stuff, then doon na tayo nagkakaroon ng problema. Lalo na, gaya ng sabi ko, hindi sanay yung katawan na gumamit ng fat for fuel yet, then saan yun kukuha? Pag hindi ka nag-supplement ng carbohydrates dahil yun ang hinahanap ng katawan mo, then mahihilo ka talaga.
Yes. Again po, going back to the basics, yun lang naman po talaga, allow your body to naturally progress. So start muna tayo, low carb muna, then fasting kapag nag-fasting na sanayin. And then kung yung mga, let's say, walking, mga brisk walking lang, usually hindi naman yan problema. Pero if you are talking about talagang matindi-tinding training, yun nga po, ang pearl na natutunan natin from Sir Ollie tonight, being an endurance athlete, is to progressively get into it. Huwag bigla-bigla. Kasi daming side effects pag binibigla. Yan. So sana po nakatulong. Sir Bert, Doc, pwede po ba bumaba ang, I think, creatinine ito kung low carb fasting? Yeah, so sir, good news po. Kung ito pong pagtaas ng inyong creatinine ay related sa lifestyle, so let's say, dahil kayo ay may high blood o kaya dahil kayo ay may diabetes, yes na yes po ang sagot. There are other disease conditions na hindi lifestyle related na makakapagpataas ng creatinine ninyo. In that case, hindi po mag-work. Kaya very important po to clarify, ito bang pagtaas ng creatinine ninyo ay lifestyle related? Kasi kung autoimmune yan, hindi po yan ang makakatulong ang lifestyle, ang low carb sa pag-optimize ng overall wellness, pero hindi yan ang magiging gamot dyan. Kasi iba ang mechanism niya. Pero kung lifestyle ang dahilan, like high blood, kayo ay mataas ang cholesterol o kayo ay mataas ang asukal, then for sure, ito po, napakarami na nating kaso. Hindi lang sa clinical practice ko ng mga low carb doctors, kundi mismong sa communities natin, nagpapatunay na ito po ay talagang nangyayari. Na minsan, yung iba pa nga ay medyo advanced na yung kidney disease ay nare-reverse, either na-reverse or bumaba yung antas ng kanilang damage ng kidney. So yes sir, pag lifestyle related po ito, napakalaki ng pag-asa po. So subukan lang po natin. So thank you for that question. Naghahanap pa ako dito. Maraming mga nanonood from US, California. Ayan, thank you po. Same time frame kasi tayo. So nandyan din si Sir Ollie. Sir Ollie, saan ka nga bang area sa California?
Sa Doc, Monterey County, sa Salinas, California to be exact.
Ayun.
We're
Yeah,
in
baka...
the salad bowl of the world kung tawagin, Salinas Valley, which
Ay,
we grow a lot of
nice.
lettuce. We're surrounded by farm, kaya
Oh, very
maraming
nice.
vegetable.
Di pa ako nakarating dyan. Sa pa lang ako nakarating? Sa Dead Valley. Doon sa may biggest salt concentration. Doon
Death
pumunta
Valley
ako.
National Park.
Yes. Pero doon sa hindi pa. So hopefully ito. Malapit ba yan, Sir Ollie, sa Sorry ha, wala akong idea sa California. Is it malapit sa Orange County or malayo yun?
So we are about 2 hours south of San Francisco.
Oh,
And
okay.
maybe 6 hours north of LA, Los Angeles.
Okay. Yes. Ayan. So, baka po yung mga nasa California, gusto nyo mag-touch base kay Sir Ollie. Sir Ollie, magpa-meet and greet ka dyan. O, di ba? Yeah.
I'm not very active sa sa page ko. Sometimes if I have time, I write something. I'm a sucker for what do you call this? Anecdotal stories, like yung mga naging result ng mga tao. So those are the things that I write, and when I have time, I write something and I post it there. I'm not very active in the community, kagaya nung sinabi nga ni Doc Grace, saka lang kami lumalabas pag mayroong mga low carb con, tsaka mga ganitong para kami mga politician. Pero hindi naman po kami politiko.
Hindi. Iba naman yung ating cause, Sir Ollie. It's a very
Yes.
worthwhile cause. And it is not...
But I'm in the pages, I'm in the groups. Nasa Life Without Rice ako ni Doc Grace and Low Carb Feasting and Fasting. Nasa Carboholic Anonymous din po ako ni Doc V. But I'm not very active, kagaya ng ibang advocates natin. But I'm always willing to share what I know when I'm called upon. Um, I never stop learning. Yung nga na-touch ni Doc Iris kanina. No? I think one of the things that's keeping me in this lifestyle is the endless knowledge that's out there to learn. Um, I'm a learner by heart, so I never stop learning. Every day I listen to books, listen to podcasts. I read books when I'm not listening to it. Um, and there's so much to learn. Like I said, you always try to advance your practice. I always try to advance my personal practice. Nagsimula sa fasting, nadagdagan ng low carb, tapos nadagdagan ng primal endurance, and now I'm more into longevity. And I was in the beginning, gusto ko lang magpababa ng weight, and now my goal has changed over time. It changed so many times. Not that my goal is longevity, and you have all these tools. You have fasting, you have low carb nutrition, primal endurance. Now I'm adding sauna bathing to that for how do I get to 100 is my goal right now. So the goal changes. Don't be afraid to change your goal. If your goal when you started is to just lose, a few pounds or a lot of pounds, you shouldn't stop there. You shouldn't just stop at goal weight, right? There should always be curiosity and aim a little higher every time. My goal changed so many times I cannot count with how many times I change it. I started from goal weight. Now I'm at longevity. I don't know what else is next, but I'm pretty sure there's more out there to learn.
That's the beauty of itong community natin kasi ito nga yung natural progression niya. We see this a lot in our members too, the way that people grow and expand. And I think yun talaga yung essence ng buhay din for us to continuously, yun nga, level up, right? Continue to better ourselves kasi we progress din sa ating needs. And this is what we are seeing in our community members. I myself have passed through that, yung progression nga ng needs natin, na sa una muna, ito muna, karamihan ng mga nagjo-join sa atin, very physical. Physical muna. Pagandahin ang hitsura, mag-lose ng weight. And then eventually, ayan na, sumusunod na yung mga mental health, na gumaganda na. So we are slowly addressing yung pag-akyat natin doon sa yung triangle of needs natin until such time na talagang very holistic na siya. So thank you for that. And truly, Sir Ollie, we keep learning. Ako, every time I meet yung mga advocates, every time may guest ako dito, may natututunan ako And I write those things down actually. And then I read up on them more. And ito yung kagandahan dito because truly, you cannot know everything, right? And so when you learn from experience ng community members, ng mga fellow advocates, that's very, very enriching. And I think yun yung maganda sa community natin. No one acts like they know everything, right? Everyone is so open to learning. Unlike yung parang nangyayari ngayon sa, let's say for example, traditional way of treatment na parang pag ito lang yung na-establish hanggang dito na lang. And I think it doesn't leave much room for expansion pag ganun. And leaves us with so many parang mistakes in the future. Like nung sinabi nila, I don't know if you remember, Sir Ollie, there was a time in medicine dati na sinabi na ang neurons hindi na pwedeng gawin. Yung neurons that you were born with at birth, yun na lang yun. Hanggang doon na lang siya. But now we know that the brain is plastic. We know now that you can mold the brain, that the brain can regrow, that the brain can actually make new connections. Kahit ma-stroke ka, you can regain your function. So, maraming nagbatikos doon sa mga scientists who tried to disprove this because they were already seeing it in real life. And this is what's happening in our communities right now. We are seeing the transformation. Kanina nga, sabi namin ni Doc Grace, right, na nag-uusap dito, na if it is something that is healing your disease, and in fact, gumaganda ang pakiramdam mo, is that wrong ba? Right? And so if it's challenging conventions, right? May conventional na mga knowledge. If it is challenging that convention, then it means that perhaps we need to be open. Kasi nga, the science is continuously evolving as we find out more about the human body. It just goes to show us na yung mga kailangan talaga to heal already inside there. It's already within us, right? Back to para na tayong bumabalik doon sa mga datihang panahon ni Aristotle, Plato, yung Socrates, na ang sinabi nila, ang tunay naman talagang medicine, yung katawan mo, yung tulog, yung exercise, right? Tubig, these are the real medicines, right? And good relations. So, we already are equipped. Kailangan na natin ma-optimize. So, thank you for that, Sir Ollie. Ito may nagpatunay, sabi ni Sir or Miss Dacilio from YouTube. Kaya po, ingat talaga, binigla ko, nag-fasting ako agad. One year akong hindi nakapag-work dahil sa maling diet na burn pati muscles ko. Kaya, I think ingat itong sinabi niya dito. Yes, very true po. Ano? Ang good news is, kahit naman po nagkamali or sabihin natin nagawa natin na mali, ito na nga, ang ating lifestyle is very forgiving. You can, again, take it up, but this time, properly educate yourself, get support from the community, really immerse yourself sa learning, and you will find out na yes, you can correct it kahit pa medyo nampamali tayo dun sa una nating pagsabak. Yan. So, I think, ito, baka gusto mo sagutin, Sir Ollie. Tanong ko, gaano ba maraming fat ang kailangan? I think nasagot na natin to kanina. Gaano daw karaming fat kailangan? Kasi pag mababa ang fat intake ko, nangihina ako. Siguro, sir, just really to emphasize the point, unahin muna natin, syempre, i-meet yung protein requirements natin kasi baka parte din why you are nangihina is kulang yung protina. Yun muna. And then once you meet your protein requirement, then you eat fat up to sa kabusugan, up to satiety. Hanggat feeling ng katawan niyo, listen to your body, eat mindfully, wag madaliin, mafe-feel nyo naman nabusog na kayo, then you stop. Wala siya talagang requirement kung pinag-uusapan natin ay losing weight. Ang kinocompute lang talaga yan kung gusto nyo mag-gain weight. Yun lang talaga. Meron siyang calorie competition, but if you want to lose weight, reverse condition, up to satiety, unahin ang protina. Do you want to add to that, Sir Ollie, yung ganitong question?
Sure. Alam mo, sa ano to, in the beginning, this is the advice, no? Lalo na sa mga na gustong magpababa ng timbang. Because fat adds to a lot of satiety. Pero gaya nga ng pinag-usapan natin dito, no? As you advance in this lifestyle, don't get stuck in the fat paradigm. Because yes, it's helpful na mataas yung fat because that's how you introduce ketosis in your body. Pero I believe protein is much more important than fat. Protein is the building block of our body. So in order for your body to grow, in order for it to thrive, you need protein. And you need fat as well, but not as much. In the beginning, yes, we need the fat, we need to lose weight. A lot of us are overweight, a lot of us are healing. But once you get to your health, your optimal health, then you need to start learning more about your nutrition. Which one is really more important? Is fat really more important than protein? And because that was my mindset in the beginning, all of us we're so amazed with the transformation that some of us kulang na lang uminom ng olive oil to bring up the fat percentage. We put butter in our coffee.
MCT.
Yes,
Yeah,
we drink
sobra-sobra.
MCT oil. In the beginning, yes, those are advisable, I would say. But after a while, once you advance into this lifestyle, you need to revisit those knowledge and see what else you can improve, which is honestly protein. You need more protein than fat, like Doc Iris said.
Yun. Thank you for that, Sir Ollie. So, sir, yung nangihina, unahin muna natin yung protina. Okay, Sir Jimmy? Baka po kinukulang lang talaga sa protina and then fat up to satiety. Ayan, Miss Leonisa, Leoncia, I think very new siya sa lifestyle na ito. Diabetic type 2, pwede ba akong kumain ng root crops gaya ng saging? So, saging po, hindi naman siya root crops, ma'am. Pero, yun nga po, ma'am, dito sa ating lifestyle, pinapromote natin yung pagkain ng mga above ground vegetables, yung mga tumutubo. Sorry, may announcement. Wait a moment lang po, ha? Ayan, nakikigamit lang kasi tayo kay IKEA. So anyway, so yun po ma'am, ang mga above ground, so tumutubo sa taas ng lupa, especially yung mga green leafy vegetables natin, yan ay mga low net carb. Yung mga tumutubo sa ilalim ng lupa, yan ay very starchy, meron siyang complex na carbohydrates, and yan po ay mataas ang stimulation na magagawa para sa ating insulin. So best to avoid po. Ang saging po, although nasa taas tumutubo, medyo mataas din po ang kanyang net carb content, kaya mas maganda pong i-avoid natin. Sir Ollie daw, ask ko lang kung binibreak mo ang IF kung umiinom ka ng coffee with creamer during fasting hour. Ayan, mukhang newbie din ito si Facebook user. Nabibreak daw ba Sir Ollie yung kanyang IF kung umiinom siya ng coffee with creamer during fasting hour?
Technically, especially kung newbie ka, kung may creamer, kahit full fat creamer pa yan na walang halong sugar o kaya sweetener, I believe it is broken. Your fast is broken. Depending on what fast you're doing, kung anong fast yung ginagawa mo. But sa akin, I've only done one type of fast, which is clean fast. I drink black coffee, tea, water during my fasting time, and nothing else until I open my window. So, yung lang ang the best way to do a fast, if you do a daily fast, is to do it clean, and it will make a whole world of difference. Kasi yung iba, yung creamer na yan yung yan ka nagsisimulang magutom eh. Pag na-break na yung fast mo, diyan ka na manghihina, your body is starting to look for more energy because when you drink your coffee with creamer, you're introducing calories. And since you're introducing calories, you're spiking your blood sugar, and the insulin goes up after that to meet that blood sugar. Tapos hindi mo susundan ng pagkain. Doon ka na ngayon manghihina because you don't have enough energy to sustain the spike. So, as much as possible, drink your creamer pag na lang, feasting window.
Yeah, so technically po yun talaga. Yung mga medyo advanced practitioners and some of you who do, kasi alam ko may mga iba, medyo they do the fast mimicking diet. So, yung mga ganun. Pero this is not for newbies. Again, para sa mga newbies, keep it simple, napakadali lang po. Black coffee, plain tea. So ito yung mga plain, walang mga halo, tubig, yan lang po. And with that, hindi mo mabibreak. That is a clean, wet fast. So hindi nyo po mabibreak. Meron din gumagawa ng mga dry fast, ha? Ito yung talagang mga walang tubig. And pwede rin naman po yan. Depende sa anong fina-follow nyo. Pero again, anytime you introduce calories, so yan po kasi ay energy source, sabi nga ni Sir Ollie kanina, when you introduce an energy source, that will break your fast. And of course, the insulin stimulation happens even though theoretically, so pakita ko lang ito sa mga bagong-bago po, even though theoretically, yan ay mababa lamang para sa fat. Mababa lang eh. So dito sa ating diagram, pinakamababa siya ang response sa fat. Pero there is still a response, right? So that is technically still breaking your fast plus yun nga, may calorie siya. So that is breaking your fast. And your body never really gets into yung ketosis na gusto mo ma-achieve. Para nga, once pasukin na ng katawan mo yung fat burning na yan, doon nawawala yung gutom eh, yung mga cravings. And you last longer actually. Once malagpasan mo yan, so 12 hours, tapos ketosis ka na, and then kada oras dumadagdag, nag-deeper ketosis, doon na siya eh. Pumapasok yung ating fat burning, and yun na, nawawala na yung mga gutom cravings, up to the point na, yun nga, depende sa goal mo kung kakain ka or hindi, depende kung anong gagawin mo. Like ako today, napilitan lang ako Sir Ollie, bumili ako dito yung salmon dito sa IKEA, because I had to eat something. Kasi alam ko na bukas I am going to work out. So sabi ko, hindi pa rin ako gutom. And like I said to myself, okay, paano ba? Then eat your protein. So ito po ay protein and fat. So salmon is very high, maganda ang kanyang protein, maganda ang kanyang fat. So yun na lang yung kinain ko ngayon para in preparation for bukas. Pero was I doing it because I was hungry? Hindi. Kasi nga, fat burning ka eh. You last that long. And if I wasn't going to do workout bukas, I probably would just, go again na medyo matagal-tagal. Kaya lang, I'm also quite careful not to also stress my muscles kasi I like to have muscles. I don't want to be very lean. So yun
Yeah.
po, depende sa goal. Depende sa goal kasi bawat tao iba't iba ang goal. So yun po, thank you very much for that question. So
And I think
certain
that's the sustainability ng lifestyle na to, Doc, no? Yung, kasi in the beginning, lagi natin sinasabi, eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. But after a while in this lifestyle, like Doc Iris, myself, and a few others who's been doing this for a while, we don't really, you can sustain this lifestyle if you can make it fit your schedule. Diba? Kagaya ni Doc Iris, she's planning to work out tomorrow. She needs to feed her muscles in order to sustain that workout. Diba? Kahit hindi ka gutom, kakain ka in order to feed your muscles for that workout, to prepare for that workout. Hindi ibig sabihin na, hindi ka pa naman gutom, bakit ka kumain? Kala ko ba ano? Parang ganun, di ba? Like I said, you sustain it by, making your nutrition and your fasting fit your lifestyle. Look, is going to work out tomorrow. She needs to eat.
Yeah, although very very true yung sinabi mo, Sir Ollie. Although po just to take note ha, bukas mag-workout pa rin ako in the fasted state because I don't really work out until siguro 2 bukas, so that will put me on another 18 hours of fasting. So that's actually exercising in the fasted state. Pero para lang meron akong, like I have my muscles kasi I really don't want to get too lean. I am by nature very slim, so I don't want too much loss. Kaya nga, hindi ako recently, Sir Ollie, makapag-extended fast eh. Kasi I feel like I'm too lean. I really don't want to waste so much. So I'm building up a little bit para magawa ko yung aking extended fast. Kasi I do that for cancer prevention. Very strong ang cancer ko, parents and diabetes, both parents, stroke, parents, so very strong. So talagang kailangan ko yung aking extended fast. But again, you balance that na
Yeah.
teka muna, I am getting ganito rin. So you have to balance it. And katulad nga ng sinabi nyo, maganda na ma-realize nila na as your journey evolves, nagbabago rin the way that you do low carb. Right? So yan po yung mahalaga dyan. So certainly hindi ito ang last time mag-guest si Sir Ollie. So Sir Ollie will be here again. Ayan, pinapakumit na kita, Sir Ollie, ha?
Sure,
So
sure.
gigest ka ulit. So he is,
Sabihan lang ako ni Rona din na I'll
yes,
be here.
for sure. He is one of our resource speakers po. So sa mga hindi nakakaalam, meron tayong Low Carb Con and National Low Carb Day coming up. So these are the ways to register. Ito pong ating events ay magaganap ng dalawang pamamaraan. So the first one, sandali, tanggalin ko lang ito. The first one is of course mga katulad namin ni Sir Ollie who are abroad. You can attend virtually. Kahit hindi tayo makapunta sa Alabang, hindi tayo makapagpa-picture kina Doc Grace, kila Sir Marco, kila Sir Alan, di ba, Doc Fee. Ayan, pwede tayo mag-attend ng virtual. The other way to attend this is of course kung nandun kayo sa Philippines is to attend ng live. So paano mag-attend ng live National Low Carb Day? And yun nga po, to show our appreciation din for our guest, please give him a follow to si Sir Ollie. Hindi daw siya masyadong active dyan, but he is also in the groups. Sir Ollie, mag-ano ka din dun sa group ko ha, yung low carb fasting, holistic wellness. Ayan,
Sige,
para
sige.
makita ka rin nila. Yeah, please cross-post if you are, available, and especially yung sa primal endurance. Kasi dun sa group ko, Sir Ollie, daming nag-exercise dun.
Yes.
Maraming people who are physically active talaga. Because that's what I also promote. So, yan. And yun nga po, pag may mga katanungan, you can find him in the different groups. And he will be back here. Pwede
Yeah.
nyo rin sigurong ilagay dito ang questions and we can forward to him. Yung may mga tanong malate na manood nito, you can please put in yung questions nyo dyan sa comment section and my team will forward kay Sir Ollie sa mga inyong questions. If you don't mind, Sir Ollie, ha? They will
Sure, sure.
forward
You
kung
can
may
also send
mga
it directly to my. You can message me in
page.
my page. I don't
Ayun.
answer. I'm warning everyone. I don't answer messages
Agad-agad.
in my personal account. I ignore those as much as possible. I separate these two things. I have my advocacy page, which is my creative outlet, and I have my personal account. I don't answer anything in my personal account. So if you want to ask questions, I'm always willing to answer questions. I have a few there who ask me about endurance stuff, some intermittent fasting, some low carb knowledges that I can share. But
Ayan.
you can ask me there if you want to.
So ito po yung page ni Sir Ollie, son of a farmer. So yan po siya. And yun nga po, send lang na message dyan or put it in the comments doon. And yeah, hopefully, baka in the future, Sir Ollie, in live na tayo, makauwi tayo, ano?
Ay, oo nga.
Live na, right? So,
Hopefully next year. Hopefully next year.
yeah. So, ang ating schedule for next year po, Low Carb Con is April next year.
Mhm.
And then of course, National Low Carb Day is October. Para meron tayong 6-month interval for the two events. Parehas na event na yan, masaya. And may ina-offer for every advocate. So yun lamang po. Thank you very much, Sir Ollie. Medyo overtime na tayo ng 10 minutes.
Thank you, Doc.
Napasarap ang kwentuhan. Yes, and we'll
Oo
see you
nga.
again soon po. Yes, thank you very much. And everyone, stay healthy po and stay low carb. Bye for
Thank
now,
you, everyone.
everyone. Thank you.